Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Dan.
Together we are the Office Blokes.
We are indeed.
Aye.
It is true. We're going to do something different for us. Have we done this channel before?
I don't think so.
Dr. Insanity.
Don't think so.
Right.
I've watched a couple of videos off this channel.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I think so. I watch quite a lot of true crime channels, and I think it's one of those that talks about a case. If he's got a really deep voice, then yeah.
Welcome to the channel.
Yeah, I watch quite a lot of channels like that though, so it's easy to get confused.
I like this kind of stuff though.
Yeah,
True
definitely.
crime.
Yeah, should be good.
Well, look at that for a title. A Karen realises she's going to jail for murder.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
It's all like true crime. I think is always about the comeuppance, and the payoff is when someone gets caught.
I think when I watch it, it's about the reality.
Yeah.
What gets me is when it's all gone down and then they get caught and then the reality sits in what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day and they were talking about knife crime or gun crime, and they were saying like, instead of shooting a gun, before they do it, what they should do is go and sit in the bathroom for a month and leave for 1 hour a day and realise that's going to be the rest of their life.
Have a little taster of what it'll be like in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you on that. But yeah, I think like a lot of the true crime stuff where it's an unsolved case, if you look at the comment section, there's a lot of people that are like, it's annoying to watch, even though you're engrossed and you follow the case. But when you get the actual, she realises she's going to jail for murder moment, I think that's what
That's what I'm talking about. That's why I like the reality. The reality setting in.
Been caught. Yeah, definitely.
Let's check it out then. Karen realises she's going to jail for murder. Let's do it.
Karens usually think they're immune to consequences, but what happens when these same entitled Karens get arrested? These are three of the most shocking and satisfying examples of when evil Karens realize they've been arrested. Starting with Sarah Boone, who was accused of killing her husband Jorge by locking him in a suitcase and leaving him to die.
Wow.
What?
I've seen someone else review that case.
Really?
Yeah, it's, oh my god, all the interrogation footage is out and people have done full like hour-long breakdowns of the case and stuff.
Yeah.
She films him on a mobile phone while he's in the suitcase saying, I can't breathe, let me out, and she's just laughing.
How did she get him in there? Did she drug him or something?
I think they were pissed, and then she dared him to get in there or something. But then
He's going on holiday.
only had one ticket.
Yeah.
Sarah was quickly brought in for interrogation to determine if she was really as evil as they think.
So he had some injuries to his left shoulder. He had a cut near his lip. We could see his mouth was a little
I haven't laid a
swollen.
hand on him.
Okay. What about the scratches? Because there's also sex.
Yes.
Okay. Because there's also like a scratch on like the back of his neck, like kind of like going, but it's like going straight across.
I have no idea what that's from. In all honesty, we have not gotten into it.
Okay.
That's why, like, the only thing I thought you guys were going to ask me about, which I was going to be honest with you anyway, are the scratch marks on his back. Everything else, I have no idea what it is.
Yesterday, when we took photographs of your overall body, and they did the buccal swabs, did they go under your fingernails?
No.
Okay. Are you willing to let us
Absolutely.
swab underneath your fingernails?
Go for it.
Okay.
It seems like an odd request to ask if they can swab underneath Sarah's fingernails, but it could actually go a long way in determining how Jorge got these injuries. Since the injuries were fresh, it's a strong possibility that forensics could find dried blood or skin cells underneath Sarah's fingernails, which would put her dead to rights. But unfortunately for Sarah, they have some other evidence that took a lot less effort to find.
Do I have to watch this? I continuously throw up. I don't sleep. I don't want to see it, if that's okay.
Well, it's on your phone, and you can either explain it or we take it for what it is.
Yeah. We're just trying to give you the opportunity to tell us what's going on. That's it.
For everything you've done to me. Fuck you.
And
Fuck you.
That's you, your voice.
Stupid. That's my name. Don't wear it up.
I don't want to watch it, please.
The video showed Jorge in the suitcase begging to be let out while Sarah taunted him from the outside. The police couldn't have asked for a better piece of evidence, especially as it came directly from Sarah's own phone.
So this is upside down. So in order for him to have gotten into...
It's the next level of sadism, that.
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
just
like
to film it as well.
Torture, isn't it? And
yeah.
But then say I don't want to watch. What did you film it for then? If you don't want to watch it,
Exactly.
Well, she don't want to watch it because it proves that she's guilty.
Yeah, in
Well,
denial.
Yeah,
I'm hoping this is a death penalty at the end of it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the sentence was with this.
To it.
It was flipped up.
Right. It was flipped up normal.
Yes.
Like as if you're packing something. So this is upside down.
Guys, this is killing me right now.
Sarah is obviously trying to maintain her innocence by telling the detectives that the video is distressing to her. But does that really sound like a woman who's being shown a video of her husband dying? While everybody will have a different reaction to trauma, it's difficult to imagine her reaction is a single deadpan sentence that sounds like it was delivered only to show some amount of concern to the cops.
I don't mean to sound negative, and I don't know if I can say this, but like it's like you guys are kind of trying to like feed me. Like,
No, I'm just trying to show you a video that you no longer want to watch because you probably don't want to know the outcome of how and what you said.
well, I know what.
You know what's on that video now?
No.
You remember making that video?
Oh,
Why don't you remember making the video?
probably because we had been drinking.
But you weren't drunk.
No.
Sarah is desperately trying to explain this video away, but in doing so, essentially admits that it is her recording and that she left him alone in the suitcase afterwards. Given that Jorge died from her neglect, this at least constitutes a manslaughter charge. But she's really not doing the best job of convincing the detectives that this was an accident.
What do you think is going to happen if you leave somebody in a confined space like that?
Well, I thought by not zipping it up all the way, it would be okay. My plan was not to leave him in the
And what was
suitcase,
your plan?
waiting for him to come upstairs.
And then when he did it?
I fell asleep.
You said you were up there 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, somebody not coming up.
Knowing that the last time you saw him was in the suitcase, 30 minutes later, you're like, maybe I should go check on him. Maybe I shouldn't.
No.
Well, that didn't cross your mind because
That's
it
like
didn't happen.
that's like an assumption. Like that's what you all are thinking. Just
We're asking.
it's the drinking.
Sarah spends almost 2 hours in total desperately trying to manipulate the detectives and explain away the damning evidence the detectives have shown her. But ultimately, the detectives remain completely unfazed, and they decide that they've heard enough.
Do you promise and swear that everything we talked about today has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, but it was not intentional.
Okay. Okay.
All right, do me a favor, stand up,
Why is this happening?
because George is dead.
Not intentionally.
We understand that.
He's still dead.
Well, we don't
Someone
really
needs to
understand
call
that.
Brian, please.
Okay.
Or can I not make a phone call?
You'll be able to make a phone call when we get you down to the jail.
So
You'll
why
be
is this
afforded-
happening? So this was a trick.
No, it's not
No,
a trick.
not
How's
a
it a
trick.
trick? Your response to everything was basically, I didn't do it.
Intentionally.
Doesn't matter. He's still dead.
Sarah was charged with second-degree murder and is facing life in prison. As of this video's upload, the trial is still ongoing. But that's nothing compared to what the...
It's just next level sadism.
Evil
that.
cow.
So grim, and I think like something that was missed out there is apparently the suitcase had been dropped down some stairs as well.
Really?
At some point, I think, because they were saying he's got injuries that aren't. What's the word? They're not conducive to him just being consistent with him.
I think she would have struggled to carry that suitcase upstairs unless he was upstairs to start with.
I think
Yeah,
he maybe
maybe.
upstairs to start with, and then like booted
Brought
down the
downstairs,
stairs,
yeah.
Right.
and then she's
I mean-
just filming him laughing at him.
There's just no emotion there, was there?
No.
From her, absolutely no
No.
emotion, no concern about him being dead and anything like that.
I guess
Absolutely unbelievable.
life in prison in the USA, is that life in prison? Is that like the whole term?
I think they're usually a bit more strict, I would say. From
I think
what I know.
I
but-
think it varies. I think there's a minimum for like first degree murder will be like life without parole,
Yeah.
depending on the state.
Yeah.
But life can sometimes mean like 30 years, 40 years.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I think it's just a
Yeah.
amount of discretion from judges. and
Second
things
degree,
like
it'll
that.
be a certain amount at least, I would guess, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
25, 30 years, whatever.
I don't think it'd be you're going to die in prison for second degree murder, because then why not escalate it to first degree murder if if the outcome's exactly the same?
Yeah.
She should be.
Of course, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
that is
Your
first
mate
degree
got turned
murder.
over, not your mate, but that guy got turned over in prison, didn't he? Ian Watkins.
Jesus Christ, my mate. Fucking
Well,
hell.
you were the one who was telling me about him
Never
ages
liked
ago.
his band and never met him in my life. No, but he, did you hear about that?
Yeah,
He
got held hostage.
Got held hostage and then went to prison. Went to hospital in life-threatening condition with loads of stab wounds.
He's still in a life-threatening condition at the moment, I think. Good, exactly.
Lucky.
I hope he's suffering like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, absolutely deserves
You
it.
know, he only got 29 years.
Is that like, oh,
Yeah. And you think how horrific the crimes were that he did. 29 years.
So could he do half of that and be out then?
Probably.
He's already done 10.
yeah, he ain't coming out.
No, it'll be.
You'd have thought if
he'd
he's
probably
up
die.
for parole,
Yeah.
surely they'd just
He's
turn
probably
it
dead
down.
now. He's probably
Maybe that's what spurred it on. Maybe he's had some sort of parole hearing, and then the inmates have just gone, nah, no chance, mate.
Yeah.
You don't deserve it. Grim.
Cops had to do with Sean Malarkey, a 45-year-old woman who was arrested for domestic violence after she allegedly hit her ex-husband with a car. However, when the cop approaches to take her into custody, things go south immediately.
Ma'am, step out.
Excuse me.
Step out.
No, excuse me.
Step out.
Get your hands off of me.
Step out of the car right now. You're under arrest.
No, I am not.
Yes, you are.
No, I am not.
Yes, you are.
Malarkey's behavior is erratic and her tones aggressive from the off. Her children are in the backseat of the car, but this doesn't seem to affect how she handles the encounter, and things only get worse.
I will tase you if you don't get out of the car.
You better take your hands off of me right now.
I told you you're under arrest.
Why?
Get out of the car.
Why?
Because you have a warrant.
I just sent a message and I am... Excuse me.
Get out of the car right now.
No. Did somebody say that you could come into our house?
Asking the cops who gave them permission to enter the property is a common tactic in situations like this one. But for the suspects, the reality is that the police are well within their rights to enter property uninvited so long as they have a warrant. With a second officer's assistance, Malarkey is removed from her car and cuffed. However, this is where things get even worse.
You did this. No, I didn't do anything.
Andy asked you to come out.
Excuse me?
Andy asked you to get out of the car.
No, Andy yanked me.
I yanked you because I told you you're under arrest and you refused to exit your vehicle. Are you going to stand up and be cooperative?
Those poor kids in the back of that car.
I know, yeah. What sort of parent is it? Absolutely incredible.
Winds me up, this. This is why I want to be a police officer. I'll take it. Take one for the team.
I don't think she would have been in the car that long if you'd have been there. Somehow.
I think, I don't know the way they play it. Like, the police, I guess the police have got to play that role of they've got to be very careful and tread lightly.
Yeah.
But to make sure it's done. And she's a female, and all that kind of stuff. But when she's like, no, get off me, just drag her out, have it. You're out, you're under arrest.
You can't keep saying it, can you?
No.
You just lose your authority completely, don't you?
Correct.
So.
It's what the kids are going to see, though,
Exactly.
isn't it? Because that's
It's the mum.
That's your moral compass, essentially. The person you look up to teach you right from wrong, being dragged out of a car, being arrested.
Yeah.
It's
Bad.
just, sickening.
Are you going to understand that my attorney has filed a motion to quash this?
We're going out here, this way.
To quash this.
You hit us, you do anything stupid towards us, we're any charges on. If you hit us, or anything, let's go.
You've already hit me.
I didn't hit you. I asked you out of the car. I told you you're under arrest. Now you got a whole show for your neighbors here.
Even restrained, Malarkey's attitude does not change at all. The cop then smells alcohol on her breath, which may explain some of the bizarre behavior.
You are a shitty f***ing human being. You throw somebody down in front of their children? What the f*** is wrong with you?
Sit down! I told
You! You piece of shit! You know what? You are the piece of dirt that I wouldn't on if you were on fire.
I smell an odor of alcohol on your breath.
No, that's my...
That's your...
I'm on you.
Okay.
She defies the officer's orders and tries to leave the vehicle, then makes a point to single out the cop who initiated the arrest.
Get your f***ing hands off me.
We see situations like this often, where a suspect will target one member of law enforcement and use them as a scapegoat. This is typically followed by legal threats, so they're likely targeting the officer they feel they could best build the strongest case against. However, this wouldn't work all too well.
Get your f***ing hands off me.
Cool out. If you keep resisting,
Get your
charge you with that. If
You know what? I'm gonna charge you with putting your f***ing dirty ass hands on me.
Stop moving. Let him take off your watch.
Malarkey then goes on to make violent threats to the officers. Pay attention to how quickly she tries to change the conversation after her most extreme threat.
You know what? Do you know what he's done?
Stop kicking us.
I'm gonna kick you right in the f***ing
That's mean. Don't do that.
You are dead.
What's that?
You are getting sued.
No. What'd you say before that?
Face
You said I am dead? What do you mean by that?
You are.
Elaborate on it if you mean it.
You're getting sued.
She continues making the cops' lives difficult by...
Do you think the cops
wind up in it?
Do you think the cops ever give them enough rope to get themselves in more trouble?
Probably.
You know, where it's like you can see that they're threatening you, and you just allow them, or maybe like he's got his hand on her shoulder like that, and she's saying, "I'm going to kill you." He knows that if he backed off a little bit, she might not say it, but then it'd be like, because she's going to be on
jab her in the back of it where you can't see
just
it.
a little spray in the face, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just pure disrespect, isn't it?
It is, big time.
Like she's getting in the car stinking of booze, and she was about to drive with the kids as well.
I think she may have...
They don't do the breathalyzer in the USA, do they?
They probably do. I'd be amazed if they didn't.
I know they do, like, they do the sobriety test.
Yeah, the walk the line and all that sort of stuff.
But I don't think over here they pull it out for anything.
They do.
You know, as soon as it's like, you know, whatever he's gone, he's just like, oh, because you've been speeding or because you've done this, you have to take a breath test.
Yeah. I saw one where a woman, she'd left the pub. She'd apparently had a really shitty day at work. Doesn't normally drink. This is in the UK, and she had a couple of drinks at the pub. Drove home. Someone from the pub instantly phoned the police and said she's drink driving. The cops followed her home, pulled her over, breathalyzed her, and she was absolutely terrified. She was obviously just a normal woman who's just had a bit of a shitty day.
Yeah.
And she was terrified, and she blew like 5 milligrams or something, which you're allowed up to 35.
Yeah.
So like someone's in the pub has watched her have a drink and then instantly phoned the police and been like, "No, she's drink driving." But she was terrified. She's absolutely mortified. Felt bad for her.
Pretending to have trouble getting out of the car, though it's clear from her movements that she's not actually trying. She blames the tape on her ankles and says it's the cop's fault she tried to kick him.
Put your feet. No. Put your feet down.
No, it hurts too much. You could just take it off.
Okay, no, you're gonna kick it.
No, what am I? I'm a fucking 100 pounds. You think I'm gonna take a 200-pound dude?
Well, you've already kicked at us a lot of times.
Why?
You're not gonna win.
Why?
You're gonna hurt us.
Why? Because that guy right there.
The one you tried to bite? Okay, Sean, let's go.
Why? Could you ask yourself a question?
Sean, put your legs
Why?
She was charged with aggravated assault of an officer and aggravated DUI. This was her third DUI with a child passenger. Wow. Soon after this arrest, she was also charged with endangering the life or health of a child and violation of a bail bond and received a misdemeanor charge for resisting or obstructing an officer. The suspect in our next case was not.
Didn't see what happened, what they got though.
Didn't it start with her running over her husband?
Yeah.
That's what the warrant was for.
That's what it's for, wasn't it? Yeah.
Imagine being married to that.
Oh,
Imagine that being mum.
A horrible person.
Yeah.
He's just absolutely hideous. And I feel sorry for the kids, though.
Yeah.
You do, don't you?
It's awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we don't know what state the dad was in. Like, she may have seriously injured him or killed him.
Yeah.
And then the kids are left with her, and then she's done that. Third DUI with kids in the car.
Mad that.
Unbelievable.
Hopefully she had the kids taken away from her.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? It's the third time. Gee.
Shouldn't be a parent.
I do think you're right with the pepper spray though. When someone's being that disrespectful, just a little shut your face. Are you going to behave now? Okay, let's go. Let's do it.
Not so lucky. This suspect's public outburst takes place on a plane ready for takeoff. Prior to the footage, she's been asked to leave multiple times due to her refusal to wear a mask during the pandemic.
Hello.
We're going to take you off the aircraft.
Yep, you're going to have to get off the aircraft,
yeah,
okay?
And you're out there, and I compliment you not wearing a mask.
She's a representative of the aircraft. They don't want you flying on their plane today, okay? So you're going to have to get off the aircraft.
They made us wait and wait and wait.
Yeah, that's the way it is, but right now I'm going to need you...
And that's fine, and I will respect that.
Okay, so I'm going to need you to grab your bag and just step off the aircraft.
And I did not do anything, actually. Disrespect.
We'll talk about it outside.
Disruptive, besides speak my mind.
Okay.
And you know what? I live in America, and that's what fucking America's about.
Calm down.
No, you know that.
Grab your bag.
You know that.
When she's asked to grab her bag and leave, she says something truly weird. The suspect has a lot of strange mannerisms and seems to have very severe mood swings. Pay attention to how her expression suddenly changes and how she seems to rapidly experience a wide range of emotions throughout the encounter.
No one's going to put their hands on you.
All right, yeah, you
grab
won't.
Your bag and
Yeah, you won't.
Okay, but I need you to get up.
No.
Okay.
You need me to get up? You may need me to get up, but you know what I feel my need to do as a person?
You know what I think people do on planes sometimes?
It's proper crazy.
I know.
Psycho.
I think I've heard a lot more Americans talk about this than people from the UK. but people get prescriptions for anxiety for flying, don't they?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like diazepam or something like that. And
maybe have a few drinks at the same time.
Pills they normally don't take.
Yeah,
and have a couple of beers at the airport and then just absolutely lose their mind.
Yeah.
I think I think doctors will prescribe you anxiety medication to fly in this country as well.
Yeah,
I just don't think people ask for it as much.
Yeah,
necessarily.
No, there's no danger. I mean, I've flown loads, but I guess it doesn't affect me as such to worry about that.
Yeah,
it's when I sit next to someone and just with tear ass down the room and I go, imagine if we crash now.
Something like that, I'd love you, wouldn't they?
You're just like my bro who did that to me my whole life. And he's like
going down.
Yeah, he'd be like, "What was that bang? Is that bit meant to be hanging off the wing?" I'm just
is that bit supposed to move?
Thing is, I'd never sacrifice having a beer on a plane to have some form of medication for the flight anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, because when you're actually up in the air and you finally get a beer, that's the de-stressor. That's when you're like, oh, right, at least if I die, I'm going to die.
Well, you've been sat around the airport for 3 hours before. You get a beer at the airport, man.
Yeah, but then you've got like a 45-minute gap where you've not had a beer waiting to get on the plane, and that's where I get anxious.
It's just one of those forms of transport that people sometimes can absolutely hate.
Yeah, I'll always fly. I'll never let
really
it stop me going anywhere. But 500 miles an hour, 35,000 feet in the air is not natural, no matter what anyone says.
It's modern travel.
Yeah,
modern day travel.
Yeah. And that's why I'll trust it, and I'll get on planes whenever I want to. But I'm still going to be like,
statistically, it's still the safest form of transport, isn't it?
I'm not asked. If you're going to go, you're going to go. Simple.
Yeah.
There's certain death metal bands I won't listen to on a plane just in case, because they're very, very like antichrist, satanic sort of like, the lyrical content is brutal, and I'm like, just in case, I'm not going down listening to this.
Exactly, you're going down,
hedging my bets just to be safe.
Just like Jesus motherfucking Christ.
You need to calm
down. No, I'm gonna do what I need to do. I'm gonna say what I need to do, and if you're gonna do whatever you feel you need to do to me, right? So I'm gonna say what I have meant to say. No, to everybody.
Stand up, man.
Yeah, everybody is doing this.
You're gonna get arrested if you do not stop.
I'm already gonna get arrested.
The police warn the suspects that if she doesn't cooperate, they'll have to put their hands on her. Her response is dramatic. She also latches onto a supposed promise one of the officers made, that she wouldn't be arrested if she gets off the plane.
Here's what's happening. They're going to deplane the aircraft. I'm going to take you off the plane.
That was already happening. Don't.
And you're going to jail.
It won't happen if you get up and walk out with me right now.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to...
Trust
that. That's how it's going to work.
Do you feel that's a threatening system?
That's the way it is, man.
That's not cool. I want to trust you. You want to trust me? That's not healing. We're not healing.
The suspect is led from the plane and placed under arrest. Her reaction is childlike. She cries in an unconvincing way and seems to feel that the experience has violated her human rights. Listen to her describe her actions. The way she seems to think she acted is far from the truth, but it's hard to say whether she's deliberately lying or there's something more to it.
Okay. Come with me.
I wasn't doing it.
Come with me.
Why are you doing that?
The suspect continuously switches between claims of being victimized and anger towards the cops. She seems to feel that she's been personally wronged and that one of the cops lied to her to get her to comply. She accuses this cop of not wearing a mask himself.
How is anyone gonna stop anything when you lie to them?
You had your chance, ma'am.
I had my chance. You didn't even give me a chance. I looked at you in your eyes and I knew you were lying to me. I saw you outside before I even came in with your mask off.
Once again, we see a case where the person being arrested decides to single out a particular officer to blame for everything. The suspect refuses to cooperate with a particular cop, but says they're willing to comply with other members of law enforcement.
All right, ready to step out? Are you going to comply with everybody?
No, with you two, yes. Not with you, because you're a liar.
Okay.
Towards the end of the arrest, she repeatedly says things that seem to come out of nowhere, including the suggestion that a nurse there to check on her is attracted to the officer she has an issue with.
Here, let me get your temperature at least.
Oh, you think he's cute? Oh, yeah, I thought he was cute, too. I looked in his eyeballs, and I thought he looked into my eyeballs, and then he abused that.
Her unpredictable mood and irrational reactions continue right up until the video ends, with her saying that the fact that she can't relax is the fault of law enforcement. Seems likely that there are some psychiatric issues at play here, though. Without a professional opinion, it's hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
She's on drugs.
I don't know. She could just be absolute screwball.
It's definitely a screwball.
Yeah,
I think she's on
not
drugs.
quite right there.
Whether it's prescription medication mixed with
So
alcohol,
erratic.
or like she's on something else.
Yeah.
You need one of them like blow darts sort of thing, don't they? You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just like, ooh. Just tip all over like that. And like, get her off. Get off the plane.
Is a great idea for police.
Good to go. Doors closed. Let's go. Cross check. On our way.
Yeah, not stand there for 10 minutes there. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now.
Well, someone's going. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
they've got them for animals, haven't they?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Shoot them out of a rifle.
They're no better than animals. Some of these blocks.
Could be our new company. That we'll get people off the aircraft very quickly.
We're like a SWAT team. We
Yeah.
just turn up and it's like, who is it?
dressed like in funky outfits. Like I don't know what we'd wear, but maybe clowns.
Just all tie dye and clowns.
Clown,
and we'd just be like, when the drugs are
crazy.
crazy.
You're the crazy one. Woo. Where's the crazy one? 34G. I can get him from here. Stay there. Just yapping and just all of a sudden like poof.
None of us would be able to concentrate if it was 34G that we're dealing with.
I didn't even know there was more than seven rows on a plane.
I don't go that far back now.
I thought it only went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, way up, way up.
It's just some sickening like.
Oh, there's some crazy people.
Yeah,
keep away, but they're all women.
It's getting flashbacks from that last one.
Yeah, you don't want
a lot of
like
that seemed very familiar.
You don't want
wow,
like
that crazy.
Yeah.
Holy
shit. Seriously.
And can you imagine being on a plane with something like that for a few hours as well and started playing up. Yeah, she was better off it there, wasn't she? I think.
I got on a plane. Quick story. I got on a plane once, and a girl sat next to me, and there was a friend of mine on another one, sort of like sat behind me, and I thought, I wonder if I can swap with someone to sit here. And this girl was in the middle of a 4-row, and it was like me on the end and the girl there. And this crazy girl was talking. She went back from Australia. She stunk bad. She was English, but coming back from Australia. She had a broken arm, so she'd obviously not been able to wash her arm or anything for a while. Yeah. The smell was bad. Right? And I even said to the stewardess, I went, "Stinks, man." Anyway, I fell asleep in the chair. Right, and I just dozed in the chair like that. And then, you know, when you wake up, because you sense someone's there. She was only climbing over me to get out. A snatch was right there in my face when I woke up. I went, "What the?"
Did it smell better than
she had a leg on each arm climbing over.
Yeah,
and her hand was on the back of the headrest like that, climbing over me, and I'm asleep there.
Imagine if you did that to her.
And
she wakes up and you're like straddling her face. Jesus Christ.
Not straddling her face, Dave.
It was bad. It was bad. I was just like, what the? I just went, move. And I just like helped her over like with a shove. She's like, be careful, I've got a broken arm. I went, shut up.
And break your other one in a minute.
Yeah. And I had to move after that. I've got to move.
Shut up, tune.
Grim.
Yeah.
Grim.
Hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers. Guys.